Today's oracle reading is from the Moonology deck. Work through your fears, and what do you need to release? The what work through your fears card is actually a new moon and Scorpio card. That particular card says, this card suggests rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, and birth, death, and rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark, and it definitely won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. This card also suggests that you are magical, and then it's time to work your magic. It can also herald the start of a sexier time. If you've been experiencing some type of drought, and an emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Scorpio is the sign that likes to go deep in the body, mind, and spirit. So when you pull this card, and this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. So take time to let go of any grudges you're holding. Move on from jealousy. Stop being obsessive. Could it be also that you might be paranoid about something? And make good investments. Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, and even scary. Not all of us like to face our shadows, but Scorpio demands it. In fact, it's through working through your dark side that you can get to the light. And the new moon in Scorpio suggests you need to do that now. So I actually previously recorded this, and somehow it got deleted. So I assume that God wanted me to pull another card, which actually coincides with it, which is, what do you need to release? So what I got behind is work through your fears and Scorpio energy. Scorpio energy has to do with rebirthing. We are now approaching divine masculine season, which is the spring and summer seasons. These seasons are seasons of rebirth. These seasons are seasons of restoration and restoring and renew greenness, bringing things back to life that once was withered away or dead. So what I gather from this particular card, that during this season, sometimes, the season that we're in is really releasing those fears. Whether you have fears of intimacy, whether you have fears of love, whether you have fears of succeeding, fears of being happy, whatever it is in your life that you're fearful of, it's time to release. It's time to rebirth a new you. And the way that you're going to do that is really search within yourself and really release those things that's been holding you back and keeping you in a position of stagnation. Currently we're in the season now of divine feminine season, which is a season of winter and fall. This is when our crops and crops and plants and plant life and grass, it tends to be not so green and not so lush and not so fruitful. During this season is when plants lay dormant, and during that season is also where we prepare ourselves for the season that's to come, which is the divine masculine season, which is spring. So get ready for your rebirth. Get ready to birth out new possibilities, new relationships, new businesses, birthing of all the things that's been your wildest dreams and the things that you've had before God this season that we're in right now. Just get ready to birth those things out. But the one thing that you need to understand, that you have to work through your fears. So no matter what it is that you're scared of, it's time to really start tackling those things. That's the only way that you're going to birth what's a lot ahead of you. The next card is what do you need to release, which really coincides with one another. The waning moon points that what's falling away. Life goes in cycles, and sometimes we need downtimes or to let go. No matter when the moon cycle you pull this card, it's the sign that the situation has peaked for better or worse, and it's time for you to go easier. It's the autumn and winter of this cycle. So what do you need to release? Almost certainly something from the situation you're asking about. This card can be a very positive, but it can still be gently suggesting that it's time to let go of something and stop trying so hard. Additional meanings behind this card says it is safe to let go and move on. Move forward with a little resistance as possible. This is not the time to start new projects. Releasing emotional baggage is recommended now. Say sorry to someone. Do energetic work such as meditation or yoga. Soon you will see what lies ahead. At this time of the waning cycle, take a moment to look up at the skies every night. You will see the moon growing smaller and smaller as she moves into full to new again. It's time when these things are falling away. It's certainly not the time to cling on to anyone or anything. Drawing this card suggests your situation is in autumn and winter phase, so to hunker down and start the regeneration process. And so, like I said, these cards actually coincide. I actually did not read this waning card before because this was the card that I originally pulled. And I asked God, I'm like, do you want me to pull another card? Because my whole recording got like jumbled up somewhere, and so that's when I pulled this card. And like I said, both of them really coincide with one another. You can see in the pictures the sign of winter. You got everything that's barren in the land. Everything's covered in snow, and this is the season here that we're ending in the next few days, and we're approaching spring, which is the season of growth. So these are the two questions you have to ask yourself. These are the two things you have to reflect on. Are you working through your fears, and what do you need to release? Whether it's people, places, or things. Whether it's not our past traumas, things that keep us hindered and in a place of stagnation. It's time to really reflect on those things and rebirth a new you. It's time. It's time to rebirth. It's time to birth. It's time to birth new businesses, new possibilities, a season of newness. A lot of times we get so tired of the way things always are. Oh, it always is this way. And now we just got to get to the point that it's time to let go of those old ways and time to go towards something new. So I hope this message blessed you in some way. Y'all be blessed.